It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
Giddy up! 10:02 Central Time. Pete Sousa Show. We are in the Alico building. Scotty Swingler on the wheels of steel. We are presented by Slovacics, of course. Daniel Stark, injury lawyers, D1, Socorro Family Ford. Socorro Family Ford. It's like I used to say this in sobriety. Like when you get sober, they say you get a nudge from the judge, right? The judge says you got to go to AA before you get sober. They got a nudge from Pete. I said, we got to get Socorro Family Ford on the scoreboard over here. It's always been there, but now we can see it. Socorro Family Ford, thank you so much. Crawford Austin Properties, the Pete Sousa Show. A lot to get to today. Mike Barton Jr., a.k.a. Murph, going to join us in the second segment. Masters time, folks. That's it. Hello, friends. Jim Nance, didn't have much time to lick his wounds after the Houston loss. He heads right to Augusta, and we are ready to rock. There's a lot of storylines. I mean, truthfully, I was listening to Michelle Beadle and Decker. You know, I listened to like Mad Dog Radio and Howard Stern on Sirius, and Beadle and Decker, pretty good show. They had our boy Spatola on yesterday. Michelle Beadle's awesome, by the way. She's like, the thing about her now is she's got so much experience. Like when Mike Malone got fired yesterday, which we're going to talk about, you know, Beadle was a sideline reporter for the Nets. Before that, she worked for the Spurs organization, and then spent a lot of time, right, like at ESPN doing studio shows before she was, you know, the face of their NBA studio show. So she knows what she's talking about. So it was cool to hear them. And she's smart enough to know, like, she doesn't like talk about like, oh, here's what I know or here's what I think. Like, you can't trade her experience. Like, she's got such great experience around the league and around players and around coaches. She has good insight. So they were talking a little bit about exactly what happened with Mike Malone yesterday. And we will get to that. There's a lot of stuff to talk about this morning, but Beadle and Decker were mentioning, but they didn't even get a chance to talk about there's so much that has been going on in the world of sports that, like, the Masters has almost taken a back seat, and it's about to hop up front. And riding shotgun with us in a little bit is going to be Murph B. He's going to tell us who we need to bet on. He's going to give us some storylines. And I look forward to that. A big storyline today is not that I just got a phone call that I got to do a Baylor softball game for ESPN tonight. That's a great story. But the big story today is Mike Malone getting fired by the Nuggets. And also, we got a Rob Wright update for you too. But let's start with Mike Malone because it's a wild story. The latest a coach has ever been fired in an NBA season since Hubie Brown in 1981. And at that point, Hubie was coaching the Knicks. Or no, I'm sorry. He was coaching the Hawks. And they were like one of the worst teams in the league. And he got fired with 3 games left. This stuff with Mike Malone is unprecedented. When I was with the Sixers, Calvin Booth was actually on the team. Nice enough guy. That's where my insight on Calvin Booth ends. The general manager who was let go alongside Mike Malone. It was reported yesterday that Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, it's been reported for a while, not yesterday, but the two of them were not getting along, and one of them was going to get let go at the end of the season. That was sort of, everybody knew that. It was like, the worst kept secret in the NBA. When they both got fired yesterday, that was a shock. The timing, of course, a major shock. The reporting out of Denver, I was listening to the Nuggets beat reporter for the Action Network, Mike, I forget his last name. They asked Nikola Jokic, like the organization, because when you think about a move like this, we were in here, Scotty, Zach, and I, when it happened yesterday. And, the first thing I think is, wow, he must have not gotten along with Jokic, right? But that's not the case. Apparently, Jokic was brought in and consulted or told by the Nuggets that we're going to make this move. And he was kind of like, hey, I play basketball. Like, that's what the reports were. You guys do what you got to do. Mike Malone is super important to Jokic. Like, that's the only coach he's ever had. Clearly, you could say at worst, Mike Malone did not keep Nikola Jokic from being is a 3-time MVP? Three MVPs, Scotty? 3 MVPs, dude. And you should have a 4th, but they gave it to that joker Embiid because Embiid was like campaigning. And Embiid and like Kendrick Perkins were campaigning for Joel Embiid to win the MVP.
He might get his 4th this season.
He should.
He's in contention big time.
He should. Yeah. And they're 4th place. It's not like they suck.
Yeah, no.
But that would be sort of unprecedented to have your coach fired with 3 games left and to win the MVP. But he probably should. And the reason why he's awesome is the same reason why he doesn't want his coach to get fired, because the dude just wants to play basketball. He doesn't want this huge like role in the front office or in Denver or around the fans. So, but the Kroenke family, obviously they own the Nuggets and I think the Avalanche too. They were, and that Altitude Network as well. They were going to make a change after the season. That's what they said. And they decided that now was the time to pull the plug. Now, I totally disagree with this. And here's why. Again, it's unprecedented. So I like situations like this. I've been alive long enough, and obviously these leagues have been in play for so many decades that I can't believe that this hasn't happened before, that this is unprecedented, as we say the word precedent again. But nobody knows what's going to happen. But I believe, like, with 3 games left and 2 weeks before the playoffs, like you're the Nuggets, dude. You have Mike Malone as your coach. You have the best player in the league. Yeah, you're a 4 seed. I think, and we saw this. I mean, we can go to a bunch of different things. We saw this with the Utah basketball team, right? Like, you knew they were going to fire their coach. They're on a bit of a winning streak. And the first sign of a chink in the armor, it's like, okay, now's the time. Let's go. The Nuggets, I think, had lost 4 in a row or 4 of their last whatever, but they had been cold. Meantime, you got Joker with a 60-point triple-double, but they're still losing. And to pull the plug right before the playoffs for a team that won a championship 2 years ago, and clearly, I'm not saying they can flip a switch, but I just think it's a dumbass move. I think you make the move in the offseason. But again, the fear, I really get turned off when the fear is success. Like, there's something wrong with that. And we see this all the time. A coach, a general manager, or an ownership group, they get a bug up their rear end where they want to alleviate the head coach of his duties or the general manager. And they wait for the moment where there's vulnerability and they pull the plug, because the vulnerability is surrounded by possible success, which says to me a lot of times that it's personal. Mike Malone has the type of personality where he's extremely abrasive. He's a straight shooter. And in today's NBA, where we have the most sensitive athletes of all time, that's not coming from me. That's coming from, you talk to any athletes. I think Spatola was telling us that a few weeks ago. I know Scott Williams has told me that. I know Corey Williams has told me that. Those are 2 guys I've called games with for ESPN. And I think Terrence Ganaway says that all the time. Yeah, former Baylor football star is on Scotty with Please Bear With Me on Sunday nights. So that obviously, that type of coaching can go sideways real fast, even if you won a championship two years ago. And Shams Charania, who was on I don't know. I just don't know how this guy gets all these stories. It's amazing. He's tweeting at 3 a.m. I wake up this morning that the poor guy who was fouled yesterday and taken off on a stretcher, the moment he moves his toes, Shams is sending the tweet out, the guy's all right. Great news. Awesome job by Shams. How the hell does he get all these stories? It's amazing. Okay. And I'm not saying there's anything nefarious going on, but I was watching him yesterday. I don't want to get too detoured on Shams, but I was watching him yesterday and I was thinking, I resent this guy because he's so successful. Natural feeling from somebody else in broadcasting. And then quickly, my healthy approach comes through and I'm like, this guy works his ass off. And how can you not love someone and respect someone that works their ass off? You can't. I can't. That's ultimately right, Scotty? Yeah, he works his ass off. I'd like to go to Scotty for an attaboy once in a while when I'm not sure how I'm doing. But he works his ass off. And so anyways, he gets the story about Mike Malone leaving. And everybody's weighing in yesterday. But my initial thought was I hate, and I don't think it's a good sign of sports today or for that ownership group, but it's an indication that things are personal when an organization wants a coach out and they wait for the moment where he's vulnerable. You could lose a game, right? Okay, he lost last night. Let's go. Let's get him out. Forget that he won a championship last year or 2 years ago. Forget that he has the best player in all of basketball, maybe, playing for him right now, who might win a 4th MVP. And he's coming down the stretch with the team. Yeah, the collection of players has changed somewhat. And the knock on Calvin Booth, why he got fired, is because and that's always the general manager. When you're a general manager and you have a star player, if you're not winning championships almost every year, you're basically a dead man walking, because it's always why aren't you supporting the star with the cast that he needs to win a championship? And I think that's what we saw with Calvin Booth. And I think the other thing is what we saw with Mike Malone is ownership feels like he's negative. They feel like he's got the team headed in the wrong direction from a culture standpoint. And I'm sure Mike Malone is very quick to tell those guys to kick rocks when they come to him with ideas and stuff. We don't have the sound right now, and I'm not going to put it on Scotty to find it. But a month ago, they lost to Portland. And after the game, somebody asked Mike Malone a question about his team's defense. And he was just like, they don't play defense. They don't watch film. They're too sensitive. When I tell them that they suck and they screw up, they don't want to hear it. Like, it was like, whoa. But, you know, how would Bobby Knight do today as a head basketball coach in the NBA? Well, there's a reason he never coached in the NBA even back then. But he certainly, I think the same thing would happen to Mike Malone. He'd probably win a championship, piss the wrong people off, and get fired. And that's what happened to Mike Malone. Ramona Shelburne was on ESPN yesterday and was very quick to be like, yeah, Mike Malone will have a job like in a week or two. And, you know, the same goes for the guy, Taylor, I forget his last name, that got fired by Memphis. Like, those guys are great coaches. And both of their teams were above 500. Memphis was like 15 games above 500. And I think that, you know, and Mike Malone had been with Denver for 10 years. So clearly they know what they have in Mike Malone. But you can't deny the fact that he's got a championship, you know, less than a year and a half or 2 years in the rear view. And that he has the makings of a team that could make a run. But right now, prisoners of the moment, the reality is that teams in the NBA are tanking so they could play the Nuggets in the first round. So a lot going on there. The NBA continues to get weirder, but so does sports everywhere, which brings us back closer to home. Rob Wright yesterday, our guy, right? Friend of the show, we'll call him, although not that good a friend. I sent him a DM yesterday to see if he wanted to talk and share his side of the story like it's some scandal. Didn't hear back. But I told you I talked to friends of mine around Villanova University about, hey, is there a chance that Rob could go back to Philly? And I was told that Villanova had the resources, a lot of resources, and they also had a need for a point guard. And Rob, who showed incredible moxie all season long and was really the guy you wanted the ball to go to in clutch situations, was very attractive to many schools. Well, it turns out BYU really liked him. And if you remember when Baylor went to play BYU in early February with my boy King McClure on the call, it was King and Chucky Kempf. At that moment in time, King became 100% sold on Rob Wright. That's good King. I can do a pretty good King impression.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at your comment section.
What are they saying? Hold on. Let me finish this thought. So Rob was out playing in Provo, and I think he had like the last 14 points or maybe 14 points in the last 2 minutes. He played out of his mind. Baylor lost. He was the only guy that really wanted to step up in the moment, or that could step up in the moment. And now you've got Rob. Apparently, I look like Chris Broussard because I was saying he was going to Villanova yesterday. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was like, I try not to be like overwhelming about it, but I really thought he was going to Villanova. And, you know, that's why Chris Broussard is on FS1 talking about his cousin. But I want to hit back on BYU. So they got AJ DeBonsta. They got Rob Wright. Richie Saunders might come back. He should come back because he probably won't get drafted. If he does get drafted, it'll be in the second round, and he'll make more money at BYU next year than he will playing in the NBA. Just when you look at contracts.
I did see a question on X. Someone was saying, well, if they're paying Rob Wright so much money and Saunders comes back, do they have the money to then pay him what he's worth, or would he get more money if he transfers?
They do, and that's the scary part about BYU.
The Mormon Church, man.
Scotty, you have church experience. Speak, because that's a question. I was looking for information. Give people some background on how in the hell BYU, and I don't mean to say hell in the same like breath as BYU. BYU can now pay Rob Wright close to $4 million, allegedly, 3.5. DeBansta, $7 million.
Yeah.
$7 million. So now you've got a $10 million salary cap. Most of these athletic departments, when they talk about revenue sharing, are only allocating 20 million, right? So BYU is a football team as well. But now we're just talking basketball. So how do they have all this money? And now they got to bring Richie Saunders back, which will probably be 5 or 6.
You can kind of do the math whether you've worked for religious organizations or not. So let's just take Baylor as an example. Baylor is a Baptist school that is affiliated with the Baptist General Convention of Texas, which is one of between 20 and 30 different Baptist bodies in America, which Baptist as Christians are just one of many flavors and sections of Christianity. So if you took all the Baptists and all their money in the state of Texas, some are giving it to Baptist General Convention of Texas, maybe Baylor University, but some are going to the Southern Baptist, to the American Baptist, to the Cooperative Baptist. Like there's all these different bodies. The thing the Mormons have, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, it's why they have all this resourcing at BYU. They have one church and one university for that church. So every single Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints member gives to the same body, and that same body has one university, which is BYU. So just imagine like the resources Baylor could have if there was just one Baptist denomination and one school for that denomination instead of dozens and dozens and dozens, right?
Yeah.
And just stereotypically, Mormons are even more generous and perhaps more willing to fork over money for their church and their university than most Baptists are. Put all those things together, and it is not hard for BYU to find the NIL money to do this. Like, it's really not a surprise at all.
That I appreciate you saying that, because that makes sense out of it. There's basically one Mormon church where all the Mormons put their money towards,
right?
And that's BYU.
Whereas if you say I'm a Baptist, that can mean, and that's one of the criticisms of Baptists actually as a religious people, is that could mean 30 different things depending on what part of the country you're in, what your church actually believes or doesn't believe. Mormons, it's all right there.
Well, and that's good because as we know, Rob Wright is a Mormon. Oh, wait, he's not. So this makes less and less sense. I wonder now, and Scotty, bring yourself back up real quick, and then we'll make one comment, and then we'll get to the comments, and then we got Mike Barton coming up to talk about the Masters. Is this peak BYU? And here's what I mean, okay? Like, because this is as exciting as it's been around that university in a very long time. You've got Kevin Young, who is like this brilliant young coach. People might say the most innovative in college basketball right now, and that's because of the way he runs his program. It's like an NBA organization, and that's why these kids are pumped to go there. Plus, they're getting paid. There's so much excitement around the university, as much as you've ever experienced in the basketball team. They just made the Sweet 16. Is it crash and burn from here on? Like, because it's hard,
bro. It's one of two things. It's crash and burn, or it's they become one of the perennial powers.
Are they going to? That's my point. Are they going to become like UConn?
It's. I mean, here's the question. The real question is, can they translate the hype and money behind basketball to football as well?
Yeah.
Because if so, oh, buddy, that's scary.
Yeah.
Like that's a program that's already won a national championship in football. Like that's terrifying if they can do this. I mean, it's either crash and burn or it's new heights, which is scary if you're in the Big 12, like Baylor. Like, I don't know how you compete with that. I mean, Drake Toll went to one.
I was about to say
Drake Toll went to one game at BYU, and he's practically a Cougar now. I don't even think he's a Baylor Bear anymore.
Well, that's the thing about Drake. And he's the guy that could weigh in on this. Like, could BYU be this next, like, their football team? This is what I want to say, and then we'll get to the comments. I wonder if other coaches and athletic departments around the country are really worried and anxious about the fact that, God, we need like some kind of salary cap, because if we don't get it, a school like BYU might be able to blow. I mean, come on, man. Like AJ DeBansta, Rob Wright. I get Richie Saunders. He kind of fits the mold, but like, you know, even I remember Jackson Robinson was there with Mark Pope. It's like, do these guys really subscribe to all the Mormon stuff? And it's fine. I think it's great. Like, they can go there and maybe get some of the good Mormon juju, but they're not first in line. BYU's not at the top of their list if they're not getting paid.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
It's almost you would think it would be the exact opposite fit. Okay, go ahead. Let's get some comments and we'll get to Murph.
Yeah. So our friend Bear the Truth says BYU hasn't even started getting going. So he's with me. This could be the start of something frightening. He does mention it is the best addition to the Big 12 from a financial perspective, which I agree with.
And the perspective that they play Utah every year. I love the rivalries that we get.
Scotty B says he is sending a hex to BYU athletics. He's upset. I think that they got Rob right. Says
Scotty B versus Brigham Young. I'm taking Brigham Young.
Says he's going to get more booze than Donald Sloan. Do you remember I told you that story like 2 weeks ago about Donald Sloan in the final seconds of a game in Waco when A&M was here doing an alley-oop to himself off the backboard when A&M was already up? I think that's what Scotty B is referencing here. I love that. And then the comment that made me chuckle as you were starting your BYU comments, you said you reached out to Rob Wright and didn't get a response. Bear the Truth says maybe you should have sent his dad a text instead.
Well, hold on. And do we think that burner account was complete BS now? Because if his dad, so is his dad brilliant? He was literally like pump faking and making us think he was going to go to Philly.
Yeah. I do think that was his dad. I don't know why you delete that account when everyone starts chatting back if you're just some random person who knows the family. Like I do.
All right, we'll be back. Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics. We're talking Masters with Mike Barton Jr. Stay with us.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge. Want to turn your passion into profit? With Blogify, creating a blog has never been easier. Build, customize, and grow your site with powerful tools designed for beginners and pros alike. Start sharing your story today and watch your audience grow with Blogify. Visit blogify.ai today for a free 3-day trial. That's Blogify, Blogify.ai today.
And now, back to our show.
There he is, live from Villanova, Pennsylvania. Mike Barton Jr.
Hey.
Mike B, what's happening?
Hello, friends.
All right, Murph, I got a question.
Best
I got a
week of the
question.
year, buddy.
Look at that smile. The only person wearing a bigger smile than you today is Jim Nance, I think.
I think you're right. I love that Boz SI cover.
You like it, Murph? I got a
I'm
question.
psyched, man. Looking forward to it. I love my favorite sporting. Go ahead.
All right, so here's the question. Hold on. Now, Murph Barton, 1996. He's the best basketball player in Philly. He just played his freshman year at Villanova, right? Okay. But now, but all of a sudden, BYU comes, right? And they're going to give you $5 million to go play at BYU. Now, you can't have relations with women, and you're not allowed to drink or smoke anything. But it's $5 million. Do you go?
Probably, yeah. But I have a funny story about that. I was watching college basketball with one of my nephews, who's 14, and he says, bring him BYU. That's kind of a weird school, right? And I said, well, you can't, if you're an athlete and you sign there, you can't have sex, you can't drink, you can't smoke. And he looks at me with a dead straight face and goes, what's the point of going to college?
Who's that, Jake?
No, Will.
We got a little delay.
Morcell.
Oh, it was Morcell. Hey, what's going on with the
But
delay?
yeah, I would absolutely go for $5 million. Huh?
Yeah. Are you getting a delay?
Big time, yeah.
All right, hold on.
Yes.
All right, we're going to hang up and do it over the phone. All right, we're going over the phone because I don't want to mess this up. Just stay tuned. Stay tight, all right? All right. We got to get Murphy on the phone here. That was a delay. You guys got to see. Are we still live? Please, let's stay live. You got to see how handsome he is, right? And that's kind of the point here. But let's go. I'm going to pull up my Roadcaster, correct? Scotty? I'm sorry, Scotty B, the Baylor King. I didn't want to disappoint you. I know you're a huge Murph fan. I'm getting connected to the Roadcaster Pro. Now I'm going to disconnect everything. Hold on.
You're doing great, Pete.
I mean, I try. Look, this is
great content.
Can I tell you where I go, guys? And you'll appreciate this. It's the Dave Aranda. How are things going when they're not going well? I always tell myself that. And since I was talking to Murph this morning, I can call him right now. All right, here he comes. It says I am. You see it? All right, quick break. We're going to get Murph back. We're going to step aside for 1 second. Hang on.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com. Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. EasySun has been living fearlessly under the sun since 2016. Born from sailors' need for convenient sun protection, our mineral sunscreen is crafted with natural ingredients offering broad spectrum protection against UVA and UVB rays. Safe for your skin and the environment, stay protected on the go with EasySun, your ultimate sun care solution. Visit EasySun.com today. That's EEZYSUN.com. Stay connected no matter where you are with eSIM-X. Say goodbye to expensive roaming charges and physical SIM cards. With access to over 200 global carriers, we make mobile connectivity seamless and affordable for travelers worldwide. Join the future of communication today at eSIMX.com. That's ESIMX.com.
We'll be right back after these quick words from our sponsors. This is Rogue Media Network.
Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co.
All right, there he is. Oh, Murph, hold on. That's cool. We can see
back? Huh?
All right, that's fine. We'll keep. Should you stay on the phone, Scotty? Yeah, stay on the phone. We can see you. This is great, Murph. So let's talk a little bit about the.
Should we try it on the
You want to try
computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Hold
see
on.
if you can pick up. See if you can. How is it going now? Murph, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
So are we going phone?
I wish I had some
Wish I had
AirPods.
some
What do
AirPods.
you want to do? If you want to go phone, or you want to try?
Hey, you tell me.
Yeah, I guess I'm in charge here.
Yeah.
I could get one more time on the phone.
Yeah.
All right, let's just kill this video. We're just gonna go with the phone. All right, Murph. Here you go. We're going audio. All right.
Yep.
All right, perfect. I know. There's a little bit of ego in you where you think you look real good and you want to stay on camera. I know that about you. You do.
I want all my fans to see me.
All right. So first off, and again, the girls now, Quinn and Anna, they're a little older. So this is going to be like, what are they going to be doing this weekend that can keep them occupied so you will be able to watch the Masters? Like, is there a plan there?
That's a great question. I might need my wife to step up there and help me out because they just want to watch cartoons. They get mad when I watch golf.
And
they walk into the room. They go, "Oh, golf!"
And this is a weekend where Megan probably needs to have a plan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's so she'll come up with something, won't she?
Yeah.
All right, good. That's kind
We'll
of
work something out.
All right, so let's get.
She knows that this is my favorite sporting event of the year.
It was funny. You look like Jim Nance and Butler Cabin, dude. When we brought you on, it was like I'm gonna have to hose you off.
Well, it's funny. I'm in my living room because Megan's in the office on a work call. Work call obviously trumps.
Yeah.
Podcast with Pete.
That's bullshit, Megan. Dude, we make money here. We got sponsors. Is that seriously why we were having? Okay. I'll deal with her later. All right. Let's start off with the Masters. We've teased the people enough. Scotty Scheffler, been the most elite player in golf for the past, I don't know, 3 years. He can join Jack, right? I have it here as the only golfer to win the Masters 3 times in a 4-year span. For him to do that, right? What needs to happen for him to join Jack in history?
I mean, I think he's the clear favorite heading into it. He's not coming in playing as well as he was the last couple of years, but there's been signs. I think he came in second last week to Minwoo Lee in Dallas, and I certainly wouldn't bet against him. He's one of the all-time great ball strikers in golf, and ball strikers seem to thrive at Augusta. So I think if he putts well, look out. He does have a lot of competition. I think Rory's coming in his game's in the best shape it's been in years. I think he's got a great chance. Couple other guys playing really well. I mean, there's so much talent on the tour these days. It's not going to be easy, but I think when Scotty's playing well, I do think he's better than everybody else.
You've played a lot of golf. You know, you're no Scotty Scheffler, but you've certainly played through injuries before. Scheffler's got a hand injury. It kept him out, I think, the first month of this year. Does that come into play at all? Like, will that hamper him at all at a major like that?
I don't think so. I think he cut himself during like making Christmas dinner or something. So I would imagine that's healed. I think he did have to take a couple weeks off in December, January, but I think he's 100% good to go.
So that doesn't concern you at all.
No.
All right, the conditions at Augusta, like I guess what was it, Hurricane Helene or Helen came through, like in September, and I guess it jacked the course up a little bit. I think it was, who was it saying? I think maybe it was Scheffler. Somebody played on Monday or over the weekend, played Augusta, and they said it's definitely different. Like visually, like the trees.
I think visually it's different, but from the interviews I've been seeing from the guys, they're saying it doesn't change the way the course is playing at all. I think there's a couple tee shots that look a little bit less intimidating because there are some trees that were taken out by that hurricane. I don't expect there to be any major difference in scoring.
What about like visually? Like if you're on the tee box and you see a much different view of a course you're used to playing day in and day out, is there an adjustment you need to make?
I think for a golfer like me, that plays a big role. When it's an intimidating tee shot, it would affect my swing. For these guys are so good, I don't think it plays that big of a role.
What'd you shoot the last time you were out?
80.
That's pretty good, Murph. I mean, I think you sell yourself short sometimes.
It was unsatisfying.
Dude, you weren't as unsatisfied as Addy after a bad round. Good Lord.
No, he was struggling.
Everybody, and then everybody at his house has to go home and walk on
He
eggshells.
beat his dog when he got home. And I was giving him swing tips, so now he's in real trouble.
Yeah, only you. That's like such a master manipulator. Like, do you think Bryson DeChambeau is going to be giving John Rahm swing tips in the middle of a round?
No way.
Let's get to
That's a no-no. I know it's a no-no, but I just couldn't help it.
Yeah, a lot of times you can't help yourself. All right.
Yeah.
DeChambeau and Rahm, by the way, we talked about them. Those are two of the big players coming from LIV into this tournament again. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage for those dudes to be playing on the LIV tour and then come over and play a major like Augusta? Like, where are we with that in today's world?
I really don't know. I'm so excited to see those two guys play this week, to see how they do. I mean, Rahm is clearly one of the best golfers in the world. He was quiet last year. He had an injured foot, which I think definitely affected him for a couple of the majors. He did not play well. He's kind of playing in obscurity on the LIV tour, so we don't see him much. But I have a feeling he's going to be motivated. I think, has the third highest odds to win this week. And then DeChambeau had a great year last year, came in second in the PGA, obviously won U.S. Open in like an epic win. He's great for the game. He has a huge following. He's fun to watch. I'm very curious, but he has not had success at Augusta. So I'm really curious to see how he shows up. As far as are they at a disadvantage, I do think they're at a slight disadvantage because the courses they play are based on the LIV tour, are like resort courses. The setup is not that difficult. Like last week, they were at Doral, which the greens at Doral do not compare even a little bit to the greens at Augusta. They're pretty straightforward. Augusta's greens are insanely fast, insanely hard. A lot of undulation. Like playing at Doral does not prepare you for Augusta. So these guys are so good. I'm not sure it affects them, but it's certainly a storyline coming in that I'm curious to see how it plays out.
You're not the first dude I've heard saying that, like getting ready for the Masters. Just, somebody like me who just parachutes in for majors like this. I've heard that a couple times, that people are just so curious to see how they'll do. It's sort of like an unprecedented situation that we're moving into, which kind of makes it alluring. What about other storylines that you are really looking forward to this weekend?
I'm just so excited because there's so many guys coming in. There's so much talent on the tour right now. And when you combine the talent, the top 10 guys on LIV, I think there's a good 20 to 25 guys that could potentially win. And I'm excited for the competition. I think there's a very good chance that we get a Sunday leaderboard with Rory and Scheffler and Rahm and Bryson and Brooks Koepka. Like, it could be an epic Sunday at the Masters. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited. There's been a couple signs of life from Jordan Spieth recently. He is coming off injury and a swing change. The guy obviously has kind of had unprecedented success at a young age at Augusta. He really seems to thrive there. I'm curious to see him. I'm just excited. I'm just excited for the talent mostly. And I have a hot take on a long shot pick. I think Sergio Garcia is coming in, playing really well and live. His ball striking numbers are incredible. He has won at Augusta. He's older now. I think he could be a good long shot pick to top 5 this week.
All right, you gave us a taste. Give us some others. Like when you walk into this weekend, I know you like to spread a little money around. What do you like outside of the Garcia long shot, which I'm probably going to be all over? I love that. I love stuff like that, especially.
I kind of have my eye on Patrick Cantlay.
Okay.
He's not one of my favorite golfers to watch, but he's really good. He has yet to win a major. I think he's too good to never win a major. His best buddy, Xander Schauffele, won twice last year. I think Cantlay probably feels like it's his time. He just started. Joe LaCava is his caddy now, Tiger's longtime caddy, who has a ton of knowledge around the course at Augusta. It may help Cantlay a little bit. I'm curious. I have a bit of a hunch that he's going to do well this week. I'm curious to see if that plays out. I love watching Victor Hovland hit a golf ball. That guy won 2 weeks ago, and in interviews afterwards says he has no clue where the ball's going. So he won a tournament at one of the hardest courses on tour and then complained that he has no idea where the ball's going when he hits it. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, because he could win or he could shoot an 80 on Thursday, and I'm dying to see what he does this week. So yeah, those are a couple of the storylines I'm into.
Who should we be rooting for? Like a guy who's a good dude who hasn't come through recently, and now of course Rory comes top of mind. But outside of him, anybody that you'll be pulling for?
I'm a Justin Thomas fan. I love his game. I would like to see him. He's had a tough couple years, I would say. I don't think he's lived up to his potential. If you asked him, his putting has really been a problem. I'll be rooting for him, and I think he's coming in playing some really good golf. Again, his ball striking numbers are great. I'm a huge Shane Lowry fan. He's also coming in playing well. His strokes gained on approach and around the green are really good, so I think he has a chance. I'd love to see Jordan Spieth make a comeback and surprise everybody. And I think, if he's going to do that, this is the place where it may happen. But whenever Spieth is in contention, I think it brings eyeballs to the TV. I think the Masters would love that. I don't know what it is about him, but he's kind of, a fearless shot taker. Kind of like a Brett Favre of golf. He'll take a huge chance in a huge moment, and a lot of times seems to pull it off. So when he's in contention, people love it. The ratings improve, and he's a good guy. I think Minwoo Lee, who won last week at Dallas, is a real exciting young talent. He's another guy that just any shot, he's got every shot in the bag, and he's not afraid to use it. So when he's in contention, he's fun to watch. He's had some success. I think he's been like top 30 the last couple of years in the Masters. So he plays fairly well there. I'm curious to see how he does. I'm sure he gained a lot of confidence in beating Scotty in a tight match down the stretch last week. That's got to be huge for his career. So we'll see what he comes to Augusta with this week.
All right, a couple more for you. Just bigger names. Why have we've been talking now for like almost 20 minutes and you haven't mentioned Brooks Koepka? what's the story there? How has he fallen off? Is he in contention, or should he be in contention at the Masters?
It's so hard to say. Like, I would never bet against Brooks. The guy's a total killer, but he plays on Live, and nobody watches it, So I don't know what he's up to, what he's been doing. But would it surprise me if he comes out and wins the Masters this week? Not at all. I mean, the guy he has a mental fortitude that it seems like a lot of these guys don't have. It's funny. I was at a tournament a couple weeks ago, member guest in Florida, and the speaker was Dr. Bob Rotella, who is a famous sports psychologist, works with a ton of PGA players. And he was just talking about what separates these guys. If you go to the range at a PGA Tour event and you put a towel down at 120 yards, 150 yards, 180 yards, all these guys hit the towel at the range. But when it comes to Sunday, none of them hit it. It's like there's a fear and an inner self-doubt that creeps in these big moments. And Dr. Bob says the guys that win these events are the guys that know they're going to win. And that's why Tiger always won. He showed up every week knowing he was going to win. He did not have the best stats off the tee. He wasn't the best putter statistically. But when he needed to make a putt, a 12-foot putt on the 18th hole to win, he made it because he knew he was going to make it. And Brooks seems to have some of that, whereas Rory, I think, struggles sometimes with that inner self-doubt, and everybody's rooting for him to pull it off, and he just hasn't seemed to have that killer instinct when he needs it.
That's an awesome note, dude. I'm so pumped you shared that, because it reminds me of when the Cowboys played in their first Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson. He took like a long 2x4, right? It's stretched across, I don't know, like 30, 40 feet. And he put it on two cinder blocks, right, at either side. And he had all the guys walk across it. And it was like, no problem. But he was like, now, if I put this between two skyscrapers, how much different would that be? Right? You guys walking across it. Like, it's the same shit. Right. And it's just like, who can rise to the occasion and have that confidence? It gives me goosebumps. I love that stuff.
I love that too. That's great.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. So let's go a little blue here. Some of these guys have beautiful wives. If there's one guy you're looking for to be in contention, so you could, hey, that's not a bad aesthetic. Who is it?
That's a good question. I mean, DJ's wife always brings it. Paulina Gretzky, she's not afraid to dress. She's not as afraid to dress provocatively. She's very attractive. A lot of the guys that are really the top golfers these days seem very wholesome. Their wives seem very wholesome. So I'm not sure. Kepka's girl's pretty sexy. Those would be the two I would go for. The live guys. The live guys seem to bring it in that respect.
The live guys run fast and loose, right? That's not a surprise.
They really do.
Hey, what about
Bryson had some real buxom blonde with him last year at the Masters. The press got a couple photos up, but I don't know if that's his girlfriend or what.
It's so funny, like these young women, and they're there supporting, who they love, and they can become social media stars overnight, right? Like a quick image.
Big time.
Yeah, like such and such. What about Rory's relationship status? Now, he's backed with his wife, right?
He is. I mean, obviously no idea where he's at with that, but that was pretty crazy how that all played out last year. And I would imagine that affected him on the golf course. A lot of guys talk about how they play better golf when their personal life is in a good place. Yeah. And Rory does seem to be in a good place right now. I know he is with his wife. They were at the par 3 contest today. They had their daughter Poppy with them. I think first time his daughter has come to Augusta. I was actually thinking maybe that would be a good sign, because I've heard him talk about, he had one of the most crushing sports defeats that I've been a viewer of last year at the U.S. Open when he missed that short putt.
Dude,
and I heard him talking to
Greg Norman stuff,
It was tough, man. And I remember being like, God, he must be devastated. I'm devastated as a fan. He must just be crushed by that. But he talked about going home and playing with his daughter and realizing, like, hey, this is not the end of the world. I'm playing a game. I get to come home and play with my daughter. So I don't know, man. I think his personal life's in a good place. His game is in an incredible place. I mean, Rory is playing good golf. He's a much more well-rounded player than he's been in the past. He was always like a world-class driver of the golf ball, but his putting's been great. Around the green's been great. He kind of fixed some of the problems he had with his wedges. Like, this is the year for him. Like, let's get it done, Rory. Let's get the Grand Slam, get it done, and move on. And I feel like once he does that and gets the monkey off his back, I feel like he's going to win 3 or 4 more majors like in the next couple of years. I feel like this mental hurdle has been holding him back.
Okay, tonight when you get the pen and paper down and you get in touch with your brother Patrick, who we affectionately call Bear, what bets are you going to make? Who are you putting your hard-earned money on?
I'm putting money on Rory because I just want to have money on him when he wins a major. I basically put money on him every time. His odds suck. I think he's like 6.5 to 1 or something. I'm going to put some money on Sergio as a nice long shot. I think I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say he's like 150 to 1. So that'd be great. And then I'm going to put money on JT and Cantlay just because I have a hunch that they're going to play well this week. I really like the storyline of Cantlay having Joe LaCava on the bag. And I just think Justin Thomas has been playing really good golf and really wants to make a statement this year at Augusta.
Mike Barton Jr. I mean, that is really, you have not brought it on the Rogue Media Network since your appearance on The Payoff 4 years ago. That was amazing, Murph, for real.
That's not true. I did the Masters preview last year, didn't I?
I didn't. Maybe you didn't bring it like you did just now, Murph. That's the point. I didn't say you hadn't appeared. All right. That was money, dude. All right, I guess we'll say this segment was brought to you by Mobile Lease Trailers. Get in touch with Murph. I got his contact if you need it. Well done, Murph. And tell Megan next time you get the office, all right?
I will.
Dude, I set you guys up. You got 2 kids. Give us the goddamn office for 20 minutes.
I know. I walked in there. She said, "I'm on a call." It was not a friendly. I got ripped off, and I just turned around with my tail between my legs.
You know who's the boss over there. All right, Murph. Yeah. I appreciate it, dude. That was awesome, man.
All right, see you, man.
All right, see you, bud. Scotty, was that not awesome?
That was awesome.
That was really, really good. He's really, really good. All right, so that's Murph. We're going to play a break and then we're out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining us and getting in the comments. And Scotty, man, great job. Anything from you, Scotty, before we go? No? All right, Zach Burke's in here. Zach, I sent you a text last night. You didn't respond. Yeah, I was going to text you at 11 o'clock at night. Clearly, if I texted you at 11 o'clock, I'm awake. I didn't get to it until like 30 minutes later. You could have fallen asleep. Pretty awesome, though, right? It was. I watched it. Yeah, a recommendation from Zach and I, the Press Box Chronicles on YouTube. Jeff Pearlman now has a YouTube channel where he kind of dives in to all of his stories. He did 25 minutes where he, as I put it to Zach, just napalmed Barry Bonds. He wrote a book on Barry Bonds. If you think you know an asshole, watch this on YouTube. The Press Box Chronicles with Jeff Pearlman. Pearlman, by the way, Pearlman tells these stories. It's amazing. He's looking at the camera. I mean, it's like, and he doesn't have a script. I mean, obviously he knows these stories so well because he covered these guys, and a lot of it's based on the books that he wrote and some of those experiences. But amazing, amazing, amazing YouTube channel. Check it out. Pearlman's the man, and he's hilarious. And he's the guy in high school that maybe you didn't pay as much attention to because he's unassuming. But like once you got to know him, you're like, this dude he's got what I want, dude. He's got all the sports knowledge and he's funny and he's cool. So quick tip of the cap to Pearlman. We'll be back tomorrow. The Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics. Thank you very much.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down to afterwards, was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.